G'day. Today I'm talking about how to add an extra 50 to 200 or even more conversations inside LinkedIn Messenger this month and start to win clients. So if you're in this situation, like one of my clients, Justin, when he came to me, he's actually an accountant. When he came to me, he had a network of about 3,500 small business owners. You know, he had been diligent. He'd been collecting these connections and had built up this great network. Unfortunately, he kind of had put them on a shelf and left them there. And I see that happen so often with my clients. They collect people, and then their connections it turns into more like a museum rather than an active pool of people. Now, we all know that the adage, your money, the money is in the list. Well, the same thing on LinkedIn. Your money is in your network. So, when Justin came to me, he was like, well, I've got all these connections. I'm not sure what to do with them and how to make kind of money with them. The first thing I said was, okay, from today going forward, any new connection, you've got to do this one thing. And this one thing that he asked people at the end of any kind of discussion inside LinkedIn absolutely has changed his business and the kind of results he gets from it. I'm going to talk about that in a second. The second thing I told him is let's go and look at your connections and let's do a reactivation program. And what we did, we got in there and we segmented, we got messaging right, we got his content right, we've got the right software, and then he's off to the races where every 10 days he's sending out a certain type of content, and that is causing a lot of activity. People in his network will start to respond. And every 10 days, he's kind of hitting them. He's staying top of mind of these people. Now, the beauty of that, when you are hitting inside LinkedIn Messenger, it's almost 100% open rates, right? 100% open rates. And what it means is every 10 days, you're following a cycle, you're segmented your list, and you're getting into conversations with these people. It leads to money. It leads to money because every time a conversation opens, you take them through your chat sequence to get them into a sales call or to send them to a ebook for download or some kind of lead magnet or a funnel for them to buy something from you. That's really important. And that's what he's doing. He's actually getting into conversations and leading them through a discussion where he books them in for a strategy session and talking about their business and gets them on retainers. So a couple of things that you really need for this. The first thing you need to do is you need to segment your list. So there's no use going after people who are dead and dormant and aren't paying attention to you. That's just a kind of waste of time, right? So we want to segment our list and we want to find the active of the active people. For nurturing, even if they've posted in the last 30 days, that will be enough to put them on a nurture list. The next thing, you want a timing, a sequence for this. I have a strategy I call the 1-10-4 with my clients, and I recommend that about every 10 days that they're going to get a piece of content. And that's the third thing you need is a good piece of content. There's all ways to do this, and whatever your method is, use a piece of content. I have a very particular formula that I use for my clients. It's very easy to make in less than an hour, usually about half an hour, and it gets people commenting, responding all the time. So you want your content to be something that they really do want to see. It's something that they can't just Google and find themselves. Industry gossip is great, but you want to have some content. Now you can host it. There's a few ways you can do this. With software, you can either put it in something like DuckSoup in Messenger. You can host it as an article in your LinkedIn and share the link. You can put it directly into the message and send it out to anyone. But the content is key. It has to be good stuff. It has to be stuff that people are going to respond to. And once you've got your schedule, then I recommend every 10 days, you're going to, fire off your messages to 200, 300, 400, 500, 600 people. You can do that over a couple of days, 3 times a month. You're not going to get in any trouble. Now, the key after that is after anyone that responds to it, you have to capitalize on that conversation. I have a very particular set of frameworks that I use for my clients. So once someone responds, they know exactly what we're going to say next. We're going to make it about them. There's a process that you should follow, but I recommend, make it about them, get into a conversation, don't stack too many times, don't stay in situational questions, and then, transition where you're asking about the problem that you solve or getting them to reveal the problem that they have, and magically you solve that problem, take them off LinkedIn into a sales call, and, whatever your metrics are on selling, that's what's going to happen. Now, going back to the first point, you've already got all these people, so you have to reactivate them. I highly recommend, don't put people on the list and just start spamming them. Even in LinkedIn, I think it's spam. It really is. Just because they're connected, it doesn't give you permission to kind of just spam them. So you need to reactivate. You need to reactivate them, get their permission, ask for them that, hey, I'm going to be sending this kind of stuff. If this is really cool for you, let me know. And you've got their permission. You're not going to get in any trouble. No one's going to report you inside LinkedIn. Now, going forward, what I said to Justin was every time you had a conversation with someone on LinkedIn Messenger, what he should do after that, end it by getting their permission to nurture them, right? You're not going to say, I'm going to nurture you, of course, but get their permission. You can frame it in any way you want. I have a particular method I use for my clients, but you want to ask them to allow you to keep in touch with them, essentially. And then they go into your nurture list, right? And you can use LinkedIn Sales Navigator lead lists for that. And beautiful. So what this means in the end is that you will have 300, 400, 500, 600 people that are active players on LinkedIn, that are ideal client prospects, that have spoken to you, have given you permission. Maybe they just need to know, like, and trust you a little bit more before they start buying from you. But they're going to hear from you in Messenger at least 3 times a month. You're going to be top of mind. They're going to go check your profile out after that. If you have a client-facing promotional page like I coach, you will look amazing. If you've been putting content, if you've been running engagement strategies, you're going to look the part. And they're going to like, okay, I'm going to pay attention to this guy. But imagine that you're nurturing 300, 500 people. You're going to be getting into conversations because every 10 days you're sending this out. And you know what happens? The first 24 to 48 hours, you always get the first rush of people responding, commenting. Great. You'll process them. Then for about 7 to 10 days after that message, you get people dropping in who turned on LinkedIn or came to LinkedIn or eventually got to your message. So they will start to drip in. And then, boom, there's the next message. So you're constantly, you're turning on the faucet. You have a nice little, stream of leads that are coming in, all for about, 30, 40 minutes of time a month, or 3 times a month, gets you into, tons of conversations. That's where you can then transition and start selling to your existing network. So, hey, if you like this, give it a like, share it on to someone who may need this. If someone that is on LinkedIn and they're just stuck, they're just getting no clients from LinkedIn, they're getting to no conversations, this is the technique to that. Because when is the last time you logged into LinkedIn, you saw that little red 1 above your messenger and you never opened it? You always open it, and so will your network. So, hey, if this is good for someone, share it with them. If you're kind of yourself getting, stuck in LinkedIn, you're kind of sick and tired of being sick and tired, comment here, sick and tired, and we'll reach out to you. We can brainstorm about some ideas for a strategy. And then if there's a match there, we can get on a call and really break it down into exactly, what's working for you, what's not working for you, and where you want to go with it. And if that makes sense, hey, we'll work together and we'll build a LinkedIn sales funnel. Okay, great to have you all here, and I'll see you soon.